A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant development in the ongoing legal battle surrounding former President Donald Trump's alleged attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 election, a federal judge has unsealed a 165-page motion detailing the actions of Trump and his associates leading up to the January 6th Capitol riot. The motion, filed by special counsel Jack Smith, paints a vivid picture of a coordinated effort to subvert the electoral process, involving a network of co-conspirators and a series of alarming strategies aimed at overturning the election results. At the core of Smith's argument is the assertion that Trump's actions were not merely those of a candidate exercising legitimate political rights, but rather a calculated scheme that involved private actors and a campaign infrastructure used to manipulate the electoral outcome. The motion is segmented into 4 distinct parts, each elucidating different aspects of the case against Trump. The first section lays out the framework of the prosecution's case, establishing the narrative of Trump's alleged misconduct. The second section addresses the implications of a recent Supreme Court ruling that expanded the definition of presidential immunity, which could potentially influence the legal arguments in Trump's defense. The third section discusses how these principles apply specifically to Trump's actions, while the fourth section requests Judge Tanya Chutkan to rule that the actions detailed in the motion do not fall under the newly defined presidential immunity. Among the more shocking revelations in the motion is the claim that Trump sidelined his own legal team in favor of Rudy Giuliani, who was reportedly willing to propagate falsehoods about the election results. The document recounts an incident where a Trump campaign staffer was informed that a final batch of ballots in Detroit would favor Joe Biden, leading to a disturbing directive to find a reason it isn't, and to make them riot, if necessary. Such statements underscore the desperation and willingness to incite violence among Trump's inner circle as they sought to cling to power. Furthermore, Smith's motion indicates that Trump and his allies fabricated claims regarding non-citizen voting and ignored evidence disproving their theories of dead Americans voting, demonstrating a blatant disregard for the truth. The motion also highlights the failure of Trump's team to deliver promised evidence of election fraud, suggesting a lack of credible support for their claims. In a separate but equally pressing matter, nearly 100 health volunteers who served in Gaza have penned a letter to President Biden and Vice President Harris, calling for an arms sales embargo against Israel. The letter details harrowing accounts of the violence and suffering witnessed by these medical professionals during their time in Gaza, where an ongoing military campaign has reportedly resulted in the deaths of over 41,500 Palestinians, including a staggering number of children. The volunteers implore the Biden administration to reconsider its military support for Israel, arguing that continued arms sales contribute to the humanitarian crisis in the region. They assert that the U.S. can impose a ceasefire simply by halting arms shipments to Israel, a move they believe would significantly alter the dynamics of the conflict. The letter emphasizes the moral obligation of the U.S. to act in accordance with its laws, which they argue prohibit the continued arming of Israel in light of the human rights violations occurring in Gaza. In a related context, State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller faced tough questions regarding the U.S. government's stance on Israel's actions in Gaza and Lebanon. Comparing the current situation to historical precedents, a BBC reporter referenced former President Ronald Reagan's successful intervention to halt Israeli bombing in Lebanon, pressing Miller on whether similar leverage was being applied today. Miller's responses suggested a reluctance on the part of the Biden administration to utilize its substantial influence over Israel, particularly in light of the ongoing violence and the expansion of military operations into Lebanon. As the situation continues to escalate, the Biden administration finds itself at a crossroads, facing mounting pressure from both domestic and international actors to reassess its policies in the Middle East. Meanwhile, in Arizona, a judge dismissed Rudy Giuliani's legal request concerning the grand jury overseeing his case, stating that he provided no credible evidence to support his claims of bias or compromise. The ruling reflects the ongoing legal challenges faced by Trump and his allies as they navigate the fallout from the events surrounding January 6th. As these stories unfold, the political landscape remains charged, with implications that could resonate far beyond the courtroom and into the broader national discourse on accountability, justice, and the future of American democracy. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.